interception of the year. Meanwhile, Wilson connected with Doug Baldwin for 3 TDs. We're now into the second half of the season. Max,
yeah.
Who are you taking the rest of the year, Wilson or Brady?
Told you before the game. Russell Wilson. And I don't know why this is surprising to people. This is what Tom Brady did last year. First half of last year, people are forgetting already. The first half of last year, it wasn't quite like this. I admit that. It wasn't quite like it's been this year, but it was damn close. Tom Brady was the runaway MVP in the first half. There was nothing to talk about. He was the best player in football. No one was thinking about Cam Newton in the first half. Forget about Russell Wilson. And Tom Brady's first half QBR last year, 81. Best. Russell Wilson, 58. Right? First half. Second half, what happened? Tom Brady's QBR, 59. Russell Wilson's, 85. It almost exactly flipped. Now, you could say, well, Brady was missing a lot of guys on offense. Yeah, these things happen. Yeah. Things tend to equalize.
The Seahawks started slow last year, too.
But an older quarterback over the course of a season versus a younger quarterback, that's one. Two is, the Seahawks' philosophy is the opposite of what I guess mine would be if I ran an NFL team. I liked what the Cowboys did. Invest resources on the offensive line, have a juggernaut there. Whoever you plug in is going to look amazing. If you have a good running back like Zeke, he's going to look like he's better than Todd Gurley, which I don't actually think he is, but he's going to look like it. And Dak Prescott, a promising young quarterback, is going to look like an MVP because of that O-line. That makes sense to me. Seahawks seem to have a different philosophy. Let's not invest too much on the O-line, and then over the course of the year, through coaching and playing together, chemistry, they'll get stronger and stronger as the season goes on. Why did I mention the QBRs from last year? And this takes into account touchdowns, interceptions. I don't want to go on a whole statistical thing, but with Brady, it was like last year, it was 22 touchdowns and 2 interceptions first half, and then it was the opposite in the second half. Not a lot of touchdowns, more interceptions. Same thing for Russell Wilson, 25 TDs, 2 interceptions in the second half. Okay. So what did they do last night? Just like last year. First half of this year, Brady 91 QBR, Wilson 58 in the first half. What did they do last night? Exactly flipped. Brady 59, Wilson 91. Here we are in the second half of the season. Seahawks philosophy affecting the way things are going. Russell Wilson starts to look like a world beater. Tom Brady comes back down to earth.
All right.
Donovan.
I mean, let's throw that away somewhere. Exactly. I mean, how many numbers we got to? You're like the Google king over here.
Yeah, how about that?
Let's go by the eye test. You can talk about
Thank you. I've been telling them that for years.
You can talk about the
talk about the eye test. Please do. Who was the best quarterback on the field last night?
Tom Brady was.
Who's better than Russell Wilson?
Tom Brady was. Look,
eyeball test.
Tom Brady is the same guy that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. What? Because he threw his first interception all of a sudden.
How many touchdowns did he throw?
We heard you speak.
Let's look at the two offenses. The thing that I worry about the Seattle Seahawks is their identity. They said they were going to go back to their same type of style of running the football and allowing Russell Wilson to play well from the pocket and use his legs. I didn't see that yesterday. Yeah, we saw some different running backs be able to carry the football, but I thought what happened was the defense was exposed from New England more than the offense flourished from Seattle. Now, when you look at the New England Patriots, you got to give Josh McDaniels a lot of credit. All of a sudden, LeGarrette Blount is getting more carries because they want to be balanced in the offense. Gronkowski, until he ran into Earl Thomas on that nice streak route down the numbers, his heart seemed like it shook from one side to the next. He wasn't the same. Julian Edelman started to come along a little bit. But you have to look at New England. The reason they get to the places, they get to AFC Championship, Super Bowl, because they turn it on at the right time. Because they're balanced. They're spreading the ball around. Guys are all of a sudden start stepping up. Chris Hogan, 7-11 as they call him, is a guy that no one talks about, but he's elevated this passing game a little more because it's not about Gronk. It's not about Edelman all the time. You got other guys stepping up and making big plays for him. So who would I take? I would take Tom Brady because I know what I'm getting from Tom Brady in that offense instead of waiting to see.
Even though last year Russell Wilson was way better in the second half.
Get off of last year.
Okay, what about last night? Wilson was a better quararback
last night. Get off of last year. Talk about last year.
You said he wasn't the better quarterback.
Tom Brady was the better quarterback.
Why,
no, don't get me wrong. All right, because he threw Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdowns yesterday. Yeah, but what's led up until this point?
Last night we're talking about.
Listen, you brought up the numbers of last year, the QBRs and all that. I'm going to talk about what led up until this particular point.
You don't want to look at the second half of last year, nor do you want to look at last night.
Why do we bring up last year? Last year, for what? He was an MVP. Russell Wilson was an MVP candidate last year.
On what basis are you talking about last night Tom Brady was better than Russell Wilson?
I'm worried about the offenses that I'm seeing from Seattle.
Not an answer.
It is an answer.
It is an answer. I'm worried about the last night. It's the same thing because I didn't see anything that would solidify.
How is Seattle's offense against Buffalo?
The problem I have with Seattle at this particular point, I had them the #1 team in the NFC, and the only reason I put Dallas ahead of them because I didn't see anything change from that offense. And the same goes from last night.
Before Stephen A. chimes in, did the Seattle offense come alive against the Bills the week before this one? For the first time this season, did they score 31 points or not?
What? One game?
Okay.
What did they do against Miami? What did they do against the Rams?
Okay, wait a minute. So then last night, what did they do against New England? Did they come alive?
Last night, it exposed the defense of New England.
Did they expose the defense of Buffalo?
So this is the question that everybody's going to ask.
Because they're in the second half.
The defense of Buffalo.
Stop. Really? Seriously.
But stop it. You just got it right there. You go out the way.
Hold on.
Let somebody else speak. We heard you. We heard your numbers.
Donovan
we heard your analysis.
says that Tom Brady was the better quarterback on the field last night.
That's 2 games in the second half of this year, and their offense is alive, just like I told you it would be.
I listened to you enough.
Yeah.
First of all, if Seattle deserves one element of credit, it's the fact that they were all the way in Buffalo on Monday night. And they came back across the country. I thought fatigue was going to get the better of them. It did not happen. They deserve credit for that. But here's what you have to pay attention to as well. When you think about New England and Brady as opposed to Russell Wilson, Max Kellerman said that we can never count out Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Max Kellerman said we have to pay attention to the Dallas Cowboys and respect them. Max Kellerman pointed out a few weeks ago, Minnesota's no joke when I told you Sam Bradford and that offensive line would crumble like a bag of cheap bricks. I tried to tell you, you wouldn't listen, okay? So I gave you all of these teams in the NFC. Who does Tom Brady have to worry about in the AFC? Let's count the ways. Trevor Siemian, Alex Smith. You know, I understand Big Ben Roethlisberger, but it is that Steelers secondary. Don't get me started. All right? That defense is awful.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is the road to prosperity for Tom Brady, if you want to go by paper, is clearly easier than the road
to get to the Super Bowl before the season started.
But that's not where I'm going. What I'm saying to you is this. When we talk about Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, nobody's trying to knock what Russell Wilson brings to the table, but the issue at question is Tom Brady versus Russell Wilson. I'm also not taking into account just the greatness of Tom Brady, which is consistent, by the way, because I still haven't gotten over that damn interception that Russell Wilson threw in that Super Bowl. Let me be clear. But the other side to it is this. Who's your competition? The NFC is tough. The road to the Super Bowl. I almost want to throw up saying this. Listen.
Brady or Wilson?
Listen, I love me some Cam Chancellor. The fact that Cam Chancellor, you didn't bring him up, is blasphemous.
It's the reason they played the way they played.
That you would talk about the Seattle Seahawks and not even bring up Cam Chancellor. You should be ashamed of yourself based on that alone, that you didn't even bring up Cam Chancellor.
Well, the question was Wilson or Brady? Let's be fair. We were talking about the quarterback.
I understand, but what I'm saying is he's talking about Russell Wilson and Brady, but you're also basically leaning towards the prosperity you assume they would.
Who was better last night, Russell Wilson or Tom Brady?
Listen, to me, it was Brady. But the point that I'm
last night, Tom Brady's better than Russell Wilson. I'm talking to crazy people.
You know, you're talking numbers. I keep trying to tell you.
Get off the numbers.
The numbers are records of events.
I keep trying to tell you.
They're saying it's not about the touchdowns. It's
with
what
those eyes of yours, how you won't use the eye test.
Okay, let's use the eye test.
I don't understand.
Let's use the eye test. How did Russell Wilson's wheels look? Rolling out of pressure and finding guys.
Does Tom Brady have wheels?
No, that's one of the reasons that.
So why did you even bring the wheels into effect?
Should the refs
Think about what you're
pass
saying.
interference on Gronk?
You're saying because Wilson has an advantage over Brady, don't weigh the advantage?
Let me say this.
They don't want to decide that.
To answer your question, we're done with you. You didn't bring up. We're done with you.
I'm telling you.
We're done with you.
I'm an insane asylum.
That's right. You are. You need to be. I can get a strap jacket for him right now. To answer your question, Bollywood, was that pass interference? No, it was not.
Yeah.
It was a great no call on the part of the
referees can't allow the game to be dictated on that call. So just let it go.
It was not PI, and I think there's PI on like every play, and I didn't think that was PI.
All right. Let's keep it going. We got another quarterback to discuss, Donovan. We need your take on. The Panthers are in last place in the NFC South and have now lost 6 games after falling to the Chiefs at home yesterday. Cam, is it time to panic?
Don't need to panic. No need to panic. I think we got a couple key losses from some teams. So, that's our optimism. You look at it, whatever our record is, it's not good. But yet we have a locker room full of winners and a locker room full of guys that's full of fight still. And I know I'm willing to go to battle with those guys and can't wait to Thursday.
All right, let's back this up for everybody who doesn't remember this conversation. Stephen A., you said going into the season that Cam was not a Tier 1 quarterback. I laughed at you. Max also believed that he was a Tier 1 quarterback. But does this prove now, 6 losses, that this guy, that he isn't?
Well, first of all, he's not a Tier 1 quarterback. He's a Tier 2 quarterback. There's no insult to Cam Newton. There's room for improvement.